Alright everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR here, playing some Hunter Primal on the September month. September, what is it? 15th, September 15th. Hope you're all doing well. There is a Rex behind me over there somewhere. And obviously there's a lot of Utah around here, which I got their attention because I shot my gun off. So they come for me. Hey Dinosaurs, how you doing? What's up? Good to see you in the chat. So jerky. So used to the other games, which is so smooth. I might crash at least one time. Actually, I was in the middle of eating my banana. There's another Utah here. I didn't want to start the stream just at this moment, but when I got on, there was a Rex behind me, so. There he is over there. Two. One up there, too. Come, they're not coming over. What are they waiting for? They down there, there's one right there. Well, let me get these crates. Hey Florin. What's up? The server's open, so anybody who has the game, just hop on. I was the only one playing when I got on, at least. Let's see what the frames per second are. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if you can see that or not. $1440p, high settings, highest settings, I guess. $182 frames per second. But you can't see it, I guess. It's not showing up. There was a way I was able to get it to show, but I don't know how I did that. I think I have to have it up first before I start the OBS. Anyway, let me shut it off. Since you can't see it anyway. Alright, I'm gonna go get them Utah. Just wanted to get these crates here, just in case there was anything worth getting. So let me get rid of these. Oh! Another crate. I'm gonna go track that Rex too. As soon as I get this crate. So I'll go get a T-Rex right away. It could be the rare. Sorry, I didn't eat breakfast. I got to eat. That, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. I guess that's it. Noble, noble, merc, noble, noble. Boots. Yeah, I don't have any better boots. That's level 3. This should be level 4. Yep. Let me change my hat. I want my khaki. Alright, let's go get that Rex. Time to get the Rex. Oh, it's here. I don't have to go get him. Where is he? Or she? Right there. I think I can come up here. Better be careful. Keep hitting the chest bone. Die, huh? See if I can get one more good shot. Finally. I'm coming. I'll just call you Ehrlich. So there was 2 wrecks, huh? Hmm. Gotta watch out, some of them they run back. Where'd this guy go? He probably died. It probably died. Most likely. Yeah, it's gonna be dead. And here's the other one. Nope. Ganging up on me, huh? Like Jurassic Park. I don't have many. I don't have that many rounds left. come back here. This one's aggressive. Oh my god. He got him in the tree. Oh no. Oh. Where is it? Oops, I went the wrong way. Nice. Beautiful. I don't like making it easy. I know you guys. I hear you. There's two. Okay. I don't know what I got. I don't have a whole lot, unfortunately. Hmm. I don't even have any 700 ammo. What happened to it all? Wow. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's full. Okay, there we go. Could give him some of these, I guess. Uh, okay, where are we at here? Um, hey, Herky, what's up? Didn't see you. Sorry. Was kind of busy. Good seeing you, bud. So you saw the, I guess everybody's seen the title of my thing here, my video. So there were some articles floating around, uh, in news stories. Of course in the U.S., I'm talking about the United States, where they were talking about 1.1 million, you know, um state school students have been removed and sent to other schools or, are doing homeschooling. Um, Now that's not false propaganda. I believe that because over the past couple years I've been taking my kids out of state schools as well, and now they go to a private school. So, and the school that my two youngest kids went to over here wasn't really a bad school. It was pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't necessarily the reason for the elementary school here, but things can change so fast that me and my wife just did not trust it. You know what I'm saying? Because this year the school might be fine with what they're teaching, and then the next year or even in the middle of the school season, things can change and they don't tell you. That's the problem. They don't tell the parents what they're doing at the schools. They just change things without anybody's input. So, we don't want uh, we don't want things taught to our kids, that are, you know, hateful, you know, um, especially in reference to, um, you know, the white versus black situation. Um, we don't want things taught in the schools about, you know, things are racist when they're not. You know what I'm saying? Um, just saw another one. Oh, what happened? No, it froze. Oh, he got up on top. We don't believe in critical radical theory, um, I grew up learning that in America we live in a big melting pot, right? And there's immigrants from all over the world. That was what we were taught. We weren't taught to hate other people or that black people were lesser or any of that nonsense which they're accusing, you know, people of lighter color of doing, you know. Um, I grew up with a lot of different kind of people as friends. In fact, I've had more people of color friends than white friends. So I don't know where they're talking about the racism everywhere. I lived up here. I lived in the South. I mean, I've never came across anybody who was racist in the South when I lived. Not once. And there was gay communities down there in the South, and nobody bothered them. There was no, um, what do you call it, attacks on gay people or whatever. Um, it seems like the only place where they're having all these problems is in the urban areas. And most of the urban areas are run by Democrats. Okay? So it's just amazes me how people can accept this narrative that everything's racist, white people are racist, and all this other nonsense. When I'm 50 years old now. So I'm telling you 50 years ago, I was taught in schools that we're all just people. We're all humans and we should accept each other, love each other, whatever the case. So so where is the generation of people who have been taught to be racist? When 50 years ago in public schools I was being taught not to be one. So it's almost like they're erasing the whole civil rights movement as if it never happened. You know what I'm saying? And black people of color should be outraged at that, in my opinion, because they're basically just wiping away all the sacrifice that the people gave to make the Civil Rights Act become law, right? So, and I keep getting the same responses from people about that. It was not the liberals who were for the civil rights movement. It was not the Democrats. The Republicans brought forth the Civil Rights Act more than once before Congress, way before it was passed, and the Democrats would not pass it. Right? There was not enough votes. The Republicans were on board with it. Okay? The first black slaves were Republican. Okay? There was a switch to where they morphed where the Democrats, morphed into the Dixie Party or whatever, and whatever the case is. But the conservatives are still the conservatives, right? The ones who were Christian, the ones who believed in freedom, the ones who believed in a free market, the ones who believed in making it making a ladder in society so people can move up rather than being stuck in a social class, which is what socialism does. Okay, socialism, what it does is destroy. Well, what it does is it transforms the area that's between the rich and the poor, the very poor. Okay, the dirt poor. Which in America, there really is no such thing as dirt poor. Yes, we do have homeless people, but most of those people are on drugs or they have PTSD from, they're war veterans or they have mental problems or just people have just given up on life in general. Okay? So most of those people you could say are, without treatment anyway, are unfit to work. Okay? But a lot of those people can be cured, can be at least put back in society if they got help. But the Democrats don't want that. They want the homeless crisis, right? They want the hate between the blacks and the whites. Okay, because that takes the eyes off of them. Okay, that's all this is a great distraction. That's all it's been for the past 10 years. So, same thing I see in England, the evolution of wokeism there. It's the same thing. They just want to bring in socialist Marxist ideas. So as long as you keep your eyes off of them, they can make the policies in the background that take away your freedom and take away your right to protect yourself. You know? So this is why people are taking their kids out of schools, out of the state schools. Okay? Because they don't want this propaganda. They don't want their kids taught hate. Because again, I'm 50 years old. I was taught to accept everyone for who they were. Now that doesn't mean I have to like their lifestyle. It doesn't mean I have to accept their lifestyle. Right? And it doesn't mean that I have to, you know, but at the same time, it works the other way where people have to accept my stance. What happened? He left me? I'm waiting here for him, and he abandoned me, man. So it has to work both ways. But now today, this whole wokeism, it doesn't accept your right to your religion. It doesn't accept your right to be an individual. Okay? And then this whole climate change, doomsday thing, you know, again, if they don't blame it on racism, they blame it on climate change. Now you know that. Everybody knows that I'm right about that. Right? They blame everything on either racism or climate change. If there's a big storm, it's climate change. If there's a forest fire, it's climate change. If it's a flood, it's climate change. If an area gets dry or there's a drought, it's climate change. Okay? If it gets hotter, 1 year it's climate change. If it gets colder 1 year, it's climate change. See? Same thing with racism. If there's a lot of black people in jail, it's racism. If a lot of black people get killed, it's racism. If a lot of black people are on drugs, it's racism. If, you know, whatever. If there isn't enough, if black people having jobs is not equal to white people, then it's racism. Even though there's like 10 times more white people than black people in this country, still. So, you know, it's just ridiculous, and I'm not going to have it anymore. I mean, I know they're gonna come after me. They already came after me before, you know. I mean, it took me 10 minutes, and believe it, I'm not exaggerating. It took me nearly 10 minutes to get the title of this video to be accepted. Right? Because it would not take public schools. It wouldn't let me write that. It won't let you put anything that's like woke. If you put woke in there, it won't let you put that in there. It won't let you leave public schools in there. It won't let you put any of that stuff. So anything there that tries to seem like it is talking about current events, right? They want to censor it. And it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing that even the woke people are allowing this to happen. Yeah. Huh? Whatever you want. No junk food, though. Shut the door. You know, if all this talk about like equality and all this stuff, yet they want to cause one group of people to hate another. Right? One group of people to start oppressing another. So how is that equality? You know, equality should not start and stop with finances, because that's what all this is about, right? The progressives, they want more money coming from the federal government. Why? Because that means they get richer. Why? Because that means their friends can take contracts and then give kickbacks to the politicians. Right? Why did they do that? So, like for instance, Obama, right? Now, I'm not saying that this was definitely a payoff, but this is just the things that happen all the time that are very suspicious. It's just that Obama was more bold because he knew he had the media behind him, right? He knew that the media wasn't going to really report on things and they weren't going to criticize him for anything. So he gave $500 million to the solar company, right? 500 million. That is a lot of money, okay? It's one thing to give grants to startup companies or something like that, maybe $1 million or something. I don't have anything against, helping out. If it's justified, okay? $500 million to the solar company. And the solar company, I don't know, after like 6 months or I don't know how long it was. It wasn't that long now. Went under. So $500 million gone. I mean, that's just insane. Now, why would Obama do something like that? Okay? If it wasn't for getting kickbacks for putting policies in place, right? I mean, this is how politicians do it. You wonder why politicians write books? It's the same reason. Like, you wonder, why in the world would a politician worry about a dumb book? You know? Like, they should be worried about going out to their constituents and seeing what they want, right? Well, the reason why they write books is not to write a nice story or, yeah, it could be propaganda, whatever. But, of course it's going to obviously try to make their side look good. But then Democrats do this a lot, right? That's how they get paid off from the people they help. Okay? So say I'm a politician, somebody asks me to do something and I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I could do that." You know? But if I do it, remember me when my book comes out, you know? So, they put the policies in place or whatever the case is and, their lobbyists are happy and they write their book, and then all the people that they supported, as far as putting the policies in place that they asked for, they buy the book. You know? I mean, have you noticed? Think about it. How can every single book that a politician writes become a bestseller? I mean, do you really think every book that they write is worthy of being a bestseller? You know? Now, you could argue with me on that. You could say, "Oh, I'm just exaggerating or whatever," but that's just how it works. They're crooked. It's how they get paid off. And they get paid off too by taking money from the federal government and dumping it into these areas or these companies and giving out these grants and giving out these what do you call it, bids for jobs, construction work or whatever the case is, you know. So they're not there doing it to help me and you. It's just not happening. Don't deceive yourself on that one. But Democrats are notorious for this. I mean, look at how many billions of dollars they dumped into the urban areas over the past 30 years, or 40 years even. Like, how has it helped urban cities? And all they do is blame it on Republicans when the money's gone. And then they ask for more, 4 years later or 8 years later. You know what I'm saying? Billions of dollars more. They just keep asking for more. Then we got these programs we got to start. But again, who do you think is running these programs? The people who support the politicians. Now you might say, well, Republicans do that too. Well, I'm not saying that none do, but you don't see the trend and the evidence like you do on the Democrat side. Okay? The Democrats make it a business, to do that. And at the same time, though, they're making false promises to the people. They're spending all the money, they're giving all the money away, and nobody's getting helped. Now, very few people. Okay, there might be one program that might actually be legit, just to make it look like that they're doing something. Because, obviously they have to cover their tracks. So how best to do it than, start 15 programs and 2 of them succeed. You know what I mean? It's not hard to help people. I mean, it's really not hard. Like, help. It's like you have programs in the city. First of all, you clean up crime like Giuliani did. Okay, he didn't do away with it totally, obviously. You're always going to have gangs in the mob or whatever. But, at least you suppress it enough where people can breathe. Rather than what the Democrats do. They just let it run rampant because it helps them. Right? Because as long as the cities are doing crappy, the people are suffering, the people feel oppressed, they can blame it on the Republicans, blame it on white people, and then the gangs and the mobsters and the whatever else you call them nowadays, I don't know what you call them, scare the people. And they know that they have to vote a certain way, otherwise they're going to be paid a visit, or their kids are going to be killed. Because I mean, again, this is another thing. Why do kids just get openly shot? Like, why would somebody in a car drive by and just shoot a child? Like, you can't say it's like, oh, a stray bullet, or they were really trying to shoot somebody else. You can't have that excuse every single time. I'm not saying there aren't cases where that has happened. Obviously, when you're just drive-by shooting, you end up hurting innocent people. But there's been a lot of times where it seemed like it was a targeted thing, where one kid gets killed or seemingly just gets run over. So why do you think things like that happen? Except to instill fear in people that live in the city. So, and again, this is what the Democrats love. They love it. See, dystopian, like in Cyberpunk 2077, everybody wants to say it's conservative or Republicans that cause that kind of a society, but no, it's not. It's a liberal society that starts tearing down society by taking religion out of the picture, taking God out of the picture, making everything naturalism, making a person's life meaningless, meaning, you know, you're just star stuff. That's all. You're just matter. That's all. You don't matter because you're just matter. Right? There was no rhyme or reason that you existed. Hey, what's up, Santiago? Just try one of the key sites if you want Primal. I don't know who sells it anymore. You just have to look it up. I mean, try amoeba.com, try g2a.com. I think the last time I bought a key, it was from Amoeba. And, you know, I can't vouch for them, you know. Um, they got it here for $17. Um, Let me see if I can get it up here better, because it's not really. I don't know if they'll let me put a link. That's a really long link. Again, I can't vouch for whether the keys are going to work or not. That's, you know, just a risk you're going to have to take. You know, make sure you get it from a seller that's got good ratings. G2A.com might have it too still. Not sure. Is there sound? Alright, Herky, take care. Enjoy your dinner. So anyway, so the media is on the Democrat side, not because they're just, it's just because a lot of the media members are Democrats. So you don't get unbiased news now. So, and you know, you got to give it to them. They were smart. And they're continuing to take over everything the way that they know how. I mean, look at what's happening at Blizzard now, right? What's the easiest way to get control of a company? By putting out accusations. Okay? Now, whether they're true or not true, it doesn't matter. You know, a lot of things can be resolved. You don't have to, like, blow up a whole company because one person did something wrong. You know, or even if a couple people did something wrong. I mean, you're talking about a company that has thousands of employees. And what, you're gonna what? Say Blizzard as a whole is like this evil company? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, but this is what they've been doing for the past 20 years. And a lot of people have not known this. This is why a lot of CEOs were kicked out of companies, because one little accusation and then everybody goes crazy, you know? And it's just kind of, it just cracks me up, because it's like women never do anything wrong, right? Like, no woman in any company has ever acted inappropriately or said things that were what you would call sexually inappropriate. I mean, give me a break. I mean, I've worked many different jobs in my life, and I don't think there was one job. And when I say many, I'm talking about like 20. You know what I'm saying? And every single job I was at, there was always flirting, um, without going into detail, some physical contact, you know what I'm saying? Between men and women and men, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, all this like, that's why all of it's like, no, just, it's just a tactic, that's all it is. Because a lot of these things can be resolved, you know, by a simple apology, and it'll never happen again. You know, because we're not talking about rape here. We're not talking about, you know, somebody going up to you and squeezing your boobs. You know what I'm saying? Or grabbing your crotch, per se. You know, now Trump, you know, I'm not going to go into that. I mean, because he was in a different kind of a situation where I'm sure that women were coming on to him and touching him all over. So you know, again, it's just stupid. You know, so it's all just for show, all just for the tactic of, since we have the media on our side, and they're gonna plaster this all over the world. That gives us power. You know, because you're not saving anybody. You're not helping women. There's nothing being done that's going to create a better situation for women, except for the fact that they're going to be put in positions that they can't handle. They're going to be put in positions that they're going to fail in because they're not qualified, right? They're going to be put in positions, especially in gaming companies, that are going to get gamers angry. You know, because they're not making games that gamers want. They're making games that they want. And they don't care about forcing their narrative upon you, right? It's because as far as they're concerned, you accept this or tough luck. You know, our way or the highway. And I don't think that most people, despite what the media says about, oh, this is what America wants, oh, this is what the world wants, oh, this is what this state wants, oh, this is what this country wants, that's bullcrap. That's what got me starting to look into all this political stuff the past, since Obama got elected. And then especially since Trump got elected. This is what got me to dig in deeper and figure out what's going on here, because the media keeps saying that America wants this and I want that. And I'm like going in my head, no, I don't want that. And I'm asking myself, why would America want that? You know? So they're just feeding, they got this constant stream of just bullcrap. Right? This constant stream of just saying the same things over and over and over. And, you know, you prove me wrong. You can turn on every station, or national news anyway, and they just keep regurgitating the same thing over and over. And all of them are saying the same thing. The same thing with gaming news. Right? If you have a gaming story, especially about a woke situation, then all the gaming publisher outlets are like talking about the same exact thing. Right? So this is like propaganda and activism at its best. But it doesn't reflect though what I think most people want. Because why does anybody want to give up their freedom? I mean, that's just insane. Hey, Yvonne, what's up? Or Ivan? Ivan, I guess, sorry. But some people, there's obviously millions of people out there that just don't watch anything else except for the mainstream media. And they're just being led astray. They're being convinced to give up their freedom, the right to protect themselves. And the worst thing is they're being convinced to allow the government to take their money and let them do what they see fit with it. And that's the most insane thing to me. You know, like a lot of these countries in Europe that allow the government to take 50% of their income. For what? So they can have national health care? I mean, you're really, most of the time you only need health care like when you're about to die, right? When you get old. And and what do you need? I mean, what do you need health care for? Just take care of yourself. Exercise. I mean, is that really hard? I mean, so what would you rather do? Give up $30,000 of your $60,000 income? Wow. To be what? Unhealthy? That's just so like oxymoronic. It's like ridiculous. I understand people want, you know, security. I get it. But I mean, that's just to the extreme. I mean, you would have been better off just convincing the government to say, hey, look, take out 5% of my income so that I can have a retirement plan, right? Everybody can have a retirement plan, not Social Security, but just in a secure bank where the government says, look, we're going to give you whatever it is, 2% interest, right, on your money or whatever is agreed upon. And that goes in a national, you know, pension fund or whatever the case is. And that's it. So that when you get older, and then you know, after say 20 years, um, it's open for you to use for emergency cases, like if you need it for health care or whatever the case after a certain age, say after 50. Okay, because you know you can buy private health insurance, right? And I already did a video about that where it's actually cheaper for you to pay for private health care than it is for the government to take 50% of your money. Right, Ivan. It's ridiculous. So that's just what blows my mind that people are convinced. Like the first thing is black people are convinced to attack the wrong people, right? Like they blame people like me who have no problem with black people, who have no problem with people of color, right? Who have no problem with anybody. You do you, I do me. Like all good. We're all happy neighbors. You know? So the black people take their mind off of the actual racists, the ones who don't like them. They vote for the people who hate them. That's what blows my mind. And then people, again, as I said just a moment ago, people are being convinced to give up their freedom and their money and let the government control them. I mean, that's the definition of insanity, of just irrational behavior. Yeah. Uh, why don't you just eat the spaghetti that's in the refrigerator? Eat the spaghetti that's in the refrigerator. I think I hear a wreck somewhere. Yeah, whenever, to me, a red flag goes up instantly, and this should be the same for everyone. But I guess when you're brainwashed, right? I mean, that's why it's called brainwashing. Whenever, whenever any policy or law is going to cut into my freedom or force me to give up my money, then you know that there's something wrong there. You should immediately reject it. When it cuts into your freedom and your money, you should reject it flat out. That should tell you something's wrong. So that's why, that's why I left the Democrat Party. And I regretfully say that. So I wasn't part of the Democrat Party because I was racist. Somebody somewhere down the line, like 30 years ago, convinced me that pro-choice was a, uh, a noble thing, right? To give people the right to kill their own children. Because it had to do with women's health and body and all the other arguments about, what if a woman's raped and all that stuff. Because that's the only argument they have, really. And that's a lame argument. Because I've met people over the years who were what you would call rape babies. Wonderful people. I couldn't imagine them not being a part of this world. So I'm glad that they didn't get aborted. You know what I mean? I mean, a life is a life. Give the baby up for adoption if you don't want it, At least you're giving it a chance to live. I mean, the evil doesn't get passed on to the child, you know what I'm saying? That's like a ridiculous way to think. So, I sat down hard and long and thought about abortion. And if you look up the word health and care, okay? Look up the word health and care. And then you tell yourself how the definition of those two words equates to killing your child or killing a child. Right? They're like total opposites. So abortion is not about health care at all. If you end up having the baby and you put it up for adoption and you need counseling, then you go get counseling. Having the baby is not going to like make your mental state worse. I mean, that's just you doing that. That's you not thinking about the child, the potential life that could be born. Despite whether you wanted it or not. I mean, we all go through things that we don't want in life, you know? And again, people might say, well, it's rape. That's true. That's horrible. That's terrible. That's just disgusting. But don't think that other people have not gone through that, especially men. Okay, we already are well aware of that when they were talking about the Catholic Church and the molestation that was going on for many decades and probably hundreds of years in the Catholic Church, and that was a lot of times against boys. So, don't think that us men have not gone through some pretty horrible situations. So that's why that was one of the reasons I left the Democrat Party, because I don't believe pro-choice is when it comes to abortion is not logical. It's not moral either. And I think it's inhumane. You know, the liberals always talk about humanity, but yet they're okay with killing babies. And they've convinced generations of girls that it's okay to kill your baby, no matter what happens. You know, most abortions are done anyway, not because somebody got raped. I mean, that's like a super small, very small percentage. Like, you know, way below, you know, even 0.1%. I mean, we've had since here in America since Roe versus Wade, and you can look up the numbers, they're probably a little higher now. There's been over 65 million babies aborted. I mean, just think about that. 65 million babies aborted. I mean, I was blown away when I looked up that number. I mean, I was, you know, giving the liberals the benefit of the doubt that this wasn't something that happened a lot, you know? But when I looked at the numbers, I was just like, wow, this has got to stop. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This has got nothing to do with rape. You know? I mean, at least if they had that argument, then I could sympathize, maybe. But this has got nothing to do with rape or a woman's health care. This just has to do with irresponsibility. You know? Women have access to birth control, condoms, IUDs, or whatever they're called. I mean, so many different kinds of birth control. You know? There's no reason in the world that they need to kill babies. You know? And yeah, maybe you'll say, well, birth control, then you're not letting a baby be born. Right, but at the same time, you're not killing a baby. Preventing one from actually happening is one thing, but when you scramble one like eggs, when you rip their arms and legs off the body, I mean, my goodness. There's quite a difference there. Because once the baby is formed and made, then that's a living being, you know? You don't have a right to snuff that life out. At that point, you need to give it a chance to live. So I'm not even using a religious argument. It's got nothing to do with religion. And that's what they want to keep doing. They want to keep, like, blaming it, saying it's just a Christian thing. No, it's a basic moral thing. That's how I look at it. Got nothing to do with religion. But yeah, if you want to bring religion into it, then sure. Thou shalt not kill. In fact, that's more interpreted as thou shalt not murder. You know, that would be a better interpretation. Because, you know, you can kill in self-defense. The Bible doesn't have any problem with that. So pro-life is not a religious argument. It's funny how they'll say climate change is a moral argument, but killing a baby is not. I mean, this is how like warped the mind has become. Like my. So anyway, so this is why again I left the Democrat Party, because it's just too much. And I guess they were never really on my side anyway, because, you know, of what they did over the years to the cities and everything else. How many people they have actually hurt. You know, me having my freedom doesn't hurt anybody. Me being able to get a job and move up doesn't is not me hurting anybody. Me being able to start a business and make as much money as I want, that's not hurting anybody. So, you know, conservatives wanting to defend the country, that's not hurting anybody. Me wanting to keep the border secure so that criminals don't come in here and we have, you know, overcrowding of areas that don't need to be right now, that's not hurting anybody. So, you know, you tell me how on the conservative side it's hurting anybody. And the only argument they will have is systemic racism and religion. And systemic racism, first of all, that's not proven at all. That's just something that they just say, right? And how can it be because of religion? We've been a religious country since forever. So and while we were a religious country, slavery ended. And in fact, it was ended because a lot of Christian groups came together to speak against it. And Christian-minded individuals. So, you know, just saying. So how can religion, you know, especially Christianity, because that's who they speak against, how could that be against the black man or person of color? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Of course liberals are going to say that, the Democrats, because they're the ones who were the party of slavery, the slave party. You know, and they said way back when that they're coming back. They're going to be back, and they're going to take this country back. And they're going to control the cattle, because that's all we are to them. We're just labor. They don't want us to get rich. They don't want us to get successful and move up the ladder, unless, of course, we go under the desk and give them a blowjob. Then they might do something. They might throw us a bone. But that's all. That's the only way to move up in socialist countries, is to sell yourself as a prostitute. You know? Get in the pants of a government official. That's all. And they like it that way. They call the shots and they control you. And people are just voting these people in the office, voting these people in. I mean, look at California. I mean, the state of California is like a mess. It's a mess. And 65%, at least this was what it was when I looked last. It might be a little less now. 65% vote yes to keep Gavin Newsom in. I mean, it's like, my gosh, they're destroying a beautiful state. All because of Democrats. I mean, the homeless crisis there is just out of this world. And these liberals, I mean, I don't know, like, what the heck? I just implore any liberal who's not, like, been brainwashed, sit down and think about what you're doing. You're taking our freedom away. You're taking our hard-earned money away. All these things. Conservatives just want everyone to be equal. And they do want to fight crime, and they do want to fight homelessness. But it's Democrats that always put a stop to it. I mean, look at New York City. New York City was great 15 years ago. A thriving city, people were happy to go there. And look, a Democrat gets voted in because they smeared the previous mayor, who actually did some good. And look at New York City now. And it's not because of COVID. It's because of the policies that were implemented around COVID and everything before that. So people need to wake up, man. Take your kids out of public school too. And teach your kids that freedom is important. Their individuality is important. You know, do they want to be an individual where they can think on their own, where they can make up their own ideas and then run with them? Or do they want to be part of a hive mind, a Borg collective? You know? That only works to empower the state. That only works to empower the leadership, not the people. Because the Borg didn't have their individuality. They didn't even have their own freedom to think, really. And if they ended up dying, then didn't matter. They were expendable. Because all they were just an object. You know, just a link in the chain. That didn't matter to the rest of it. You know? You just weld the link back together, that's all. Throw that link out and weld the chain back together. You don't have any real worth. You just become one of the cattle. And if it's time to kill one of the cattle, then we just do it. Or, you know, if we got to use it to eat. Or if it gets too tired and it gets sick and dies, then oh well. That's the sacrifice you have to make for the whole. And all the while, everybody's just growing up thinking that that's all they are. And they don't get spiritual, they don't get religion, they don't get Jesus. So their life simply does become, you live and you die and become nothing. Because even if you think that you're something while you're alive, when you die, you're going to become nothing. Because there's no heaven to look forward to, there's no forgiveness of sins, there's no grace from Jesus, there's none of that. So you literally just live and die. And you don't even have star stuff as an argument where you can say, oh, your matter's gonna go out there when the sun, whatever, turns red giant or whatever it decides to do, and you know, you're gonna have all that's gonna, you know, you're gonna become the next sun. Well, then what happens after that? Last I heard, scientists were saying that the universe is gonna go cold, old and cold, old, cold, and dead. Wow, that's something to look forward to. Whew. You just vote to be a voluntary slave, and you die, and then you just have no existence anymore. That's what they're teaching kids. Your only worth is to be an activist. Your only worth is to become one with the state, to assimilate. Forget about your own achievements. Forget about your spirituality. Forget about heaven. Let me see if I can find a Rex over here. Oop. Um, it must be your connection, 'cause mine's running at 1440p on my laptop, just fine. Just maybe just rewind a little bit and give it time to to cache or whatever. Because I got my laptop running here to always see how it's running, and seems to be okay on my end. All right, where did that guy go? Where did that? Ugh, I'm getting a little dizzy. So you guys don't know I had an accident a few weeks ago. Pretty bad one. Messed up my head bad, my face. So now it threw off. And now I get really bad vertigo now. So I guess I have to. I might have to go back to the doctor and get that looked at, or I don't know. He said something about doing some kind of exercises or something. So we'll have to see. Oop, I hear something. So did they kill that Primal? I guess they did. Well, I killed a lot of stuff today, huh? Wow, 38 harvest. That's didn't even realize I did that much. I think there's a Rex down here. Yep, there he is. I hear him. Let's see. Let's do the arrow, and I'm gonna go with slugs. Since I got some now. Maybe I'll go with a scope. You hear it? I wonder if this thing tells you. No, it doesn't tell you information. Crap. I don't think that's gonna be a heavyweight. Ouch, that hurt. Let's see that. Wonder if it's gonna crash if I take a picture. Oh, got him. 3 shots. Her. I think, wait, is it a he? Yeah, it's a he. Nice. Very good. Wonder if I should go down to the, I'll go to the lava flow down here. wonder if this is like accurate in the scope, the reflection. I don't think it is, because I see a lot of brown. I think they just put that in there just to make it, you know, a little more realistic, but I don't think it's an accurate picture, because it's, the clouds are gray, there's no brown. But at least they put it in there. A static picture would have been kind of dumb. Let's see, how many T-Rex? Killed 4 T-Rex today. How many total? Do we have a score? 2233 was my highest score. 2 million, that's dumb. 2 million Rex, that is so stupid. What? I have more than 1901. I could have sworn it was more than that, but maybe it isn't. I'll go over here and see if there's any wrecks. If there isn't any, then I'll probably call it a day, because I don't want to turn this into a, you know, too much of a walking simulator. Oop, I think I heard something. Could have been the thunder. Nope, I did hear something, yep. There he is. Or she. Oh man. So I tried the 50 caliber. See, I like getting right behind them because then I can rip through all their guts. Wish I had a rock. gotta be bleeding pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah, definitely bleeding bad. Whoops. That trike didn't even see me. Okay. Let's go down here. See if there's anything down here. Yep, they aren't going to survive 2 shots there. I don't like using the 50 because it scares away the wrecks. The Hunter Primal did an update today. I don't know why. But there was some kind of an update. My game had the update. I'm glad that we're still able to play the game. What is it, morning? No, it's evening. Come on, let's go. Pretty, huh? Right there. I think there's another one somewhere. I don't know. It just did like a small update. It would before it started before it let me start the game. It it didn't it didn't specify. I imagine it probably had to do with like when the Steam client changes or something, uh, you know, dramatically that they have to you know, they still have to make the game work, you know. So maybe they just had to change something simple. Just a line of coding or something. I don't know. I don't know how to look that up, so it didn't like show it on the Hunter Primal community page or anything. It was just when I hit play, it just said updating. I haven't crashed yet, so although I did crash on the other computer, so I don't think that's fixed. I think I need to get off because I'm getting dizzy. Anyway, put your kids in private school, man, if you ever have any kids. Either that or make sure you teach them at home. Oop, I hear a Rex. Teach them values around freedom at the home, and then tell them what's being taught in the state schools. It's fine that they hear it, but if they don't have any kind of defense against it, then they're just going to end up believing all of it. You got me. Oh. I didn't get a chance to run. My brain's mush. My head's starting to hurt too, so. Anyway, let's buy some ammo. Why not? Hope it doesn't crash. This would not be good. No, I missed my Rex. Boo-hoo. I hope I'm not too far away. Yep, they don't put me like a million miles away. That would not be good. Hmm. What should I get? Hmm. Just this? I mean, slugs could work. I think that's all I should get just to... What happened? Don't crash. Otherwise I lose all my stuff. I don't know why they made it in the inventory. Why they just don't let stuff stack like this? You know, like a 10, 10, 10, 10. I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know what they were thinking there. That's all I got was 2. I can't take all because sometimes it erases everything. I don't want to do that. Now I can take all. Put this back here and then put this over here. There we go. Okay. Wow. Oh my god, I'm way over here. My goodness. Phew. Oh, it's not too far, I guess. So I got 130 slugs. Take off this. I got some health potions, so that's good. So let me kill this Rex. The Rex is probably camping my body now. Death to all trike now. Come on. Stamina, I hate it. Okay, where's the big gun? Take all the ammo first. Gotta get my APR. Where is the, there it is. There you go. Let me just get that first. Take all. Oh. Good. I think we're all good now. Alright, Ivan, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna go get this Rex now. Time for him to die. Could be a heavyweight. It's making an awful lot of noise. Nope. Boy, all small today. Come on. It could be two. There it is right there. See if I can get it on good shot here somewhere. This doesn't have a very good zoom. That's kind of far for a slug. That was a good shot, I think. Let him bleed for a little bit. Or her, it's a female. No, wait, is it a female? Yeah, usually that's small. I forgot what it said. Bye-bye. You can't have me. They're a little pissed. Come on, give me a clean shot. That wasn't a clean shot. think it's hurt. Doesn't usually reset that quick unless it's hurt. Nice. Okay. A male. Be out in a minute. What? Okay, I'll be out in a minute. Shut the door. Alright, everybody. I think I'm gonna call it. Shut the door! So it's been 2 hours. I got 6 T-Rex. So that's pretty good, I think. Pretty productive. Alright, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. Take care. I'm gonna try to do more videos if I can. You know, I'm pretty busy in real life. Still getting over my injury. You know, I'm almost pretty much better, but I got some residual problems, so it's making things difficult. Don't forget to like, sub, share, donate to the channel if you have a couple bucks to spare. Yeah, every little bit helps. Alright? So I love y'all. Have a great day. Peace. Let me go up here. If I can. Somewhere. There you go. Let's see, F2. Alright. Peace. Bye.